Yes, now over to you.
Good afternoon to respected dignitaries, guests of the day, HOIs of various departments, faculty members, and my dear audience. I, Ankita Parihar, along with my co-host, Sristika Tiwari, from BA Honours, 5th semester, are here to welcome you. It is a pleasure to welcome you to the fifth day of the 30-hour workshop on the topic Part 2 Developed India, Awakened Youth, Skill Development, and Strong Leadership. विकसित भारत की राह जागृत युवा कौशल विकास एवं सुदृढ़ नेतृत्व. Talking, taking you back to yesterday's session, ma'am enlightened us on the importance of critical thinking skills and the Nyaya system of thought. She talked about intellectual development of a learner and their social, emotional, and ethical capabilities. She also said how critical thinking helps the person to be more adaptable and have an open mindset.
As our director, Professor Dr. Kumkum Prema, could not join with us today, I request Professor Satya Tripathi, Chief Proctor and Professor of Amity School of Languages, to say a few words on behalf of MAM. I extend a
Thank,
warm invitation to Sir.
thank you, Ankita. And without wasting any time, on behalf of the Director of Amity School of Languages, Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray, and on behalf of the entire faculty and the supportive staff and the students, it's my proud privilege and pleasure to welcome Professor Dr. Siddhartha Singh to the 30-hour workshop. And sir, it would be a pleasure listening to you, and I hope the lecture is really going to benefit all the people who are actually going to listen in this. Thank you. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone,
Sir, just
for
give us
inviting.
few minutes time to introduce you, sir.
Okay, sure, sure.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Now I would like to hand invite our guest, Dr. Satyat Singh, an accomplished scholar and associate professor with an impressive academic and professional background. Sir holds a DPhil from University of Allahabad with his research focusing on the critical achievements of Harold Bloom. Over his distinguished career, he has held significant academic positions, currently serving at Sri JNRPG College, Lucknow, where he is known for his dedication to both undergraduate and postgraduate education. Sir also holds an extensive portfolio of research, including numerous peer-reviewed papers published in prestigious journals and contribution to academic books. His work spans a broad range of topics within English literature, with notable publications on Harold Bloom, Vikram Seth, and the Indian theory of drama. Additionally, he has presented papers at various national and international conferences, showcasing his commitment to advancing literary scholarship. Beyond his research, Sir has been an active participant in academic staff development programs, attending and contributing to orientation and refresher courses across India. His dedication to continuous learning and sharing knowledge has also seen him deliver invited lectures on diverse literary and pedagogical topics. We are privileged to have Sir with us today, and we look forward to gaining from his profound insights and extensive experience in the fields of English literature. Sir will be giving a lecture on the topic From Ancient Stories to Nurturing Skillful Conduct in Modern Times, Indian Knowledge System and Panchayat. Sir, the platform is yours.
Thank you, Shritika, for introducing me. I thank Professor Kumkumre and Dr. Satyat Prakash Tripathi sir for involving me in this lecture series, which was based on Indian knowledge system. In fact, uh, from 4 or 5 years, I had been working in this field, and this time I chose the Panchatantra, and I chose this text willingly and with a purpose. I hope most of the people who have joined today's uh, lecture must be knowing about the Panchtant. They might have read the stories. If they have not read it, they must have heard the stories in our life sooner or later, or either in our uh, days of adolescence or when we were children. But uh, what is the problem that this Panchatantra is often uh, rejected, or you can say confined as only stories for students, which is not the case. It is a big work of Niti Shastra, which actually uh, teaches us skillful conduct in life, in politics, in every sphere of life. So, in this study of Indian intellectual heritage, we can't dismiss this text, which we call the Panchtantra and its tales, because only because they have some moral telling at the end. So I chose this topic from ancient stories to nurturing skillful conduct in modern times. Even in modern times, they are very helpful for us. And there is one more reason why I have chosen it. And you will find during my lecture why I have chosen it. Now, I have a particular aim and the scope of presentation which I am going to read out. Actually, I prepared a PPT and I wanted to share it, but this PPT uh, is not yet enough finalized because this was prepared for something else to compare Niti in Mahabharat and Panchtantra. That's why I didn't share it. See, here my aim is to understand Niti. What is Niti? Often we uh, translate it in English as a skillful conduct. So I will talk about the origin and the tradition of Niti Shastra, from where it has begun. And then I will also give an introduction of this tradition of Niti Shastra, how it developed during the course of time in ancient India. Then, of course, there will be uh, an introduction to the Panchtantra, how it originated, who was the author, and what was its cultural impact, and about its this is very important factor that Panchatantra has been translated in various languages in multiple times, and in fact, it was one of the most translated work in the world. Later on, Bible became the most translated work in the world. But before Bible, the Panchatantra was the most translated work in the world. Now, what are the cultural and educational values of this text? This I will also talk. And during all these things, my emphasis would be to decolonize Indian studies, because there is a big threat to our Indian knowledge system, and our knowledge is often uh, explained by the Western theorists in their own ways, which we should not accept as they are. We should try to find our own meanings, why these things have been written, because they have a fixed kind of criterion, you can say, some theoretical criterion. Always they will find caste, religion, race, these conflicts, and they will say ki in this work you will find there is a conflict of class struggle is there. This is a Brahminical scripture. This is patriarchal. Only this kind of theoretical assumptions they employ in our works. So we must be very careful That is the true use of Indian knowledge system today. That is why there is a lot of emphasis on it, and we must be very much aware of the uh, critical tradition which we should employ in reading a text. The reading strategy, how it should be. So, what is neat? Can you pin me up because it's a very small icon. Uh, I am trying to do it, but
Yes.
I'm not able. Yeah, please. Very small icon in the
So
corner.
you, yes, sir, now it's done.
Still, I'm not able to see myself. Okay, let me. Now, what is the meaning of neat? Neat has been described as something which leads, that which leads. And in Sanskrit English dictionaries, there are lots of meanings. It is guidance, direction, management. Remember all these things. It's very important. It is guidance also, management also. Then conduct, manners, behavior, course of action, propriety, decorum, wisdom. These are all meanings of neat. And uh, in fact, prudence is also one of the meanings. Contrivance, scheme, these are all meanings of need. So when we study any Niti Shastra, we find all these things. Means they help us in every situation of life. Politics is one of the very, very important meanings of Niti Shastra. If you remember, there was when during the Corona time, when this Ramayana was played from Doordarshan, there was a story of uh, Ram sending Lakshmana to Ravana to learn Neeti from Ravana. Okay? So Neet is helpful in every sphere of life. So politics is one of the very, very important factor. And then giving, offering, presenting, in everywhere you have to adopt a Neet. So these are various meanings. What is the origin? What is the source of this Neet? Where in the first scripture or in the first text where we can find this need. See, this is actually, we can go back to Rigveds, and in Rigved there is a Shakal Samhita. In Shakal Samhita, there are proper instructions given by Indra to Rohit, and even later on in Atrey Aranakya, Niti is also there. Then again in Rigved, there are some dialogues which are based on Niti. A very important dialogue in Rigved is Pururva and Urvashi, then Rishi Agastya and Lopamudra. These dialogues are actually, they laid foundation of the social ethics of their times. So these Vedic texts from Rigved to Atharvaved, they are arguably the oldest sources in our hallowed tradition of Niti. After Niti Shastra, two very important names are found, but the texts are not yet found in our India because these texts are mentioned in Chanakya's Niti as well as in Panchatantra, and they are Shukraniti and Brihaspati's Niti Sar. These are texts which are not available. Their original versions are not available, but they are mentioned even in Manusmriti. And Manusmriti is also a book of Niti, which is perhaps the oldest found text of Niti, because in there is a full section in Manusmriti which talks about Niti. Later on in Ramayana, we also find there are lots of places where Niti is discussed, as I gave you the example of Ram sending Lakshman to Ravana. And in Puranas, you also find in Pali Tripitak texts, they are big source of knowledge as well as big source of Niti Shastra. And of course, Jatak tales, and in our oral traditions also. But a very systematic and significant portion of Niti Shastra was developed in the Mahabharata. Here, there are some very important portions which are called Niti. The first important section is Kanik Niti, and next is Vidur Niti. I hope you must have heard the name of Vidur, and Vidur Niti is very famous. In fact, uh, you can get a very cheap copy somewhere in Charbagh railway station or any book stall, roadside book stall, Vidur Niti, Chanakya Niti, there you will find. And then Bhishma Niti is also one of the very important Niti in Mahabharata. And finally, Bhagavad Gita and Krishna Niti. The entire Bhagavad Gita is the text of Niti. Apart from these systematically laid down portions of Niti, there are lots of stories within stories in Mahabharata. And after Mahabharata, we find Kautilya's Arthashastra. There, his Kamandakiya Niti. Kamandakiya Niti is constructed in, that is called not Chanakya Niti actually, which is sold in um, book stalls. It is Kamandakiya Niti, which was constructed by Chanakya or Kautilya. And then Panchtantra. Panchtantra is also retained somewhere 200 BC or 300 BC. Now, before coming to Panchtantra, I would like to talk about Mahabharata again because there is a great intertextual relationship between the Mahabharata and the Panchatantra. The pattern of stories which occur in Mahabharata uh, that influences these tales of the Panchatantra. Some patterns are actually the same. What we find in Mahabharata, uh, where we find an extensive discourses on Niti, there are some pedagogical techniques and examples are of course there. I will let you know. The first is formal discourses. First pedagogic technique is the formal discourses. As I told you about Kanik Niti, Vidur Niti, Bhishma Niti, and Krishna Niti. Okay, what actually they describe why Niti is so important here. See, whenever we remember the episodes of Mahabharata, which was replayed on the Doordarshan, the first shlok was Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya. Na? Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glarin Bhavati Bharata. Whenever Dharma is on the decline, see, Dharma is very important factor here. Niti should conform to Dharma. It should not violate Dharma. This is the most important factor when we talk about Niti in this in these portions of Mahabharata. Kanik in the beginning gives such advices to Dhritarashtra that is actually a kind of you can say in Sanskrit dharma virodhini, dharma virodhini. But Vidur, when he is asked for advice, he is actually giving what must be conformed by dharma. His nitis are actually never against dharma. So objective of niti should be to achieve one's goal, but it should do the maximum good to the maximum number of people. Niti must be used to do good to the maximum people. Now, next technique is the stories. There are lots of stories, and one very important story is the Kaushik and robbers, then cat and mouse, story of fox, tiger, rat, wolf. Now, animal stories are also very important. Here, there is the difference between niti and dharma and their relationship and the lack of relationship in some situation. These things are described. And then there are some incidents or episodes which are thematic actually. In some of, at least there are two important, very, very important episodes where strong-willed women, they demanded that their sons be the crowned kings before agreeing to marriage. One is, I, I, I I think all of you know the story of Shakuntala. First story is of Shakuntala. When Dushyant proposes the marriage, Shakuntala's friends, Priyambada and Suya, they take this promise from Dushyant that the son which will be given birth by Shakuntala would be the crown prince. He will be the next king. And promises. And next is Satyavati, who is the grandmother of Dhritarashtra and Pandu. You know how she took this promise from the king, and that is why Bhish vowed never to marry. So this was uh, these two episodes are very important. And then there is a concept of Dharma Yuddha. In that Dharma Yuddha in Mahabharata, we all know about how Bhishma was killed, how Drona was killed, how Ashwatthama was killed, and how Karna was killed. These at least Bhishma, Drona, Ashwatthama, and Karna. The killings of these four Maharathis, the greatest of the warriors, based on need, and that is Krishna Niti, or what we can say Gita. Okay, I am not going to in more details because that will spoil our time. Now let us come to the tradition of Niti Shastra and the Panchatan. How Panchatan developed as a work of uh, Niti Shastra. What is the historical background? See, as I told you, it was written somewhere before 200 BC, and in Sanskrit it was written by Pandit Vishnu Sharma. Now, Vishnu Sharma uh, wrote this, these stories or this work for teaching three sons of a king. Okay, and there is another name of Vishnu Sharma which we find, that is Bidpai, Bidpa, Bidpai. Okay. So these three sons of that king were dull-witted, बेवकूफ type थे वो. Okay. So how to give them moral lessons and how to teach them skillful conduct. That was the chief aim of writing these stories. And let me tell you one more thing. It is not necessary that these stories were originally written by Vishnu Sharma. He must have heard these stories or might have heard some of the stories from the oral tradition of India or from the scriptural tradition of India. Such stories were written everywhere in the world at that time. If you do some research work, you will find that around 200 BC, somewhere in Greece, such stories were also written. They were very much in practice. Okay, so how, why this Panchatantra, how it created impact throughout the world? See, it was numerous. It had a very it had global influence from the beginning, from I think 6th century onwards, when it was translated into Arabic, Persian, and then moved towards Europe. So it was translated into numerous languages, and the most important cultural significance of this work is that it influenced storytelling across cultures, crossing time and space for many hundred years. Okay. And it had been one of the earliest bestsellers of the world literature. Because you can, this is a fact actually, that for many centuries, it was the most translated book until overtaken by the Bible. Okay. Now, uh, there were various adaptations also, Persian adaptation of Kalila and Dimna, then Arabian, European versions are also there. The first known English translation of this work was done in 1570 by Sir Thomas North as the Fables of Bitpai, the moral philosophy of Doni. Now see, he didn't translate it exactly from, you can say, from the original Sanskrit text. He found this work already translated into some other language. From there, he translated into English. And the most widely read translation of the Panchtantra is by Arthur W. Ryder. He has also translated Vigyan Shakuntalam. And Ryder translated it in 1925. Then Chandrarajan was also there. Patrick Olville, recent work, 1997, in Krishna. Then, so these are some English translations. Okay. Now, let us talk about the narrative structure of Panchtantra. Panch means five, and Tantra is actually the subtitles of the book, the frames, and in every portion, in five portions, we find five central or frame stories. Central or frame stories. Here, I think I can, if you allow me to join from my PC also, I can share this slide. These two slides are important.
Sir, if you can mail it to us, if you can share it,
Just
it's okay.
I can just give me a little
Okay.
time. These two slides are important and especially useful here. Yeah.
Yeah. Allow me to share.
Sir, you are you are allowed. You are a presenter, sir. You may share. So they must just beside
Yeah.
this mic option. Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
Now, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Sir, you are
Yes, sir.
audible. The slides are visible.
Okay. See,
Sir.
this is the first slide. Punch trial. There is an echo actually.
Actually, I guess because you joined from two devices,
But
so you have to
can
mute
you
one of
mute me from PC?
Just 1 second, sir.
Just mute me from PC.
PC. Sir, that is not visible. Your name is visible only once.
SS.
must
Must be
be
something
something
like.
like
Actually, you're visible from one device only.
One device only, sir.
No,
my
my photograph will be there on the next device. But just
just I got it. I got it. Is it okay now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Ah, okay, I have done it. That's okay. Here you find this narrative structure. This is my most important slide. These two slides. See, there are five tantras. First is the Mitra Bhed, separation of friends. Okay. The theme is how to break unnatural friendship. See, this is very important. Breaking unnatural friendship. Okay. The frame story. Frame story is actually the central, the most important story of that section. That is the tale of a lion and a bull, whose friendship is broken by a cunning jackal. It's a very, very important story if you read it. I suggest all of you must read. The name of the lion is Pinglak and bull is Sanjeevak. And this jackal is Damnak. Actually, what happens that there is a friendship between Sanjeevak and Pinglak, and ultimately Damnak uh, is using some cunning devices so that this bull is killed, lion is saved, and the jackal is saved. Okay, and for this saving of the lion and the jackal, the killing of this bull is must. He must be killed. But who will kill this bull? His friend of lion. So the plot is such that anyhow he uh, forces lion to kill the bull. Now this story actually speaking how this trust, the importance of trust and the dangers of listening to false counsel. Jackal was very tense because he was the chief counselor earlier, but because of the bull, uh, who was actually this friendship was not a friendship between the like-minded people. One is actually a vegetarian, another is a non-vegetarian, one is a hunter, another is a prey. So this friendship was not going to uh, any kind of good to the entire jungle. So the bull has to be killed anyhow. So how to separate these friends? So this section is named Mitra Bhed. ना भेद, you know what is the भेद? कि किस तरह से उनको तोड़ा जाए, उसका मरना जरूरी है, इसका और इन दोनों का जीना जरूरी, इन दोनों के जीने के लिए बुल को मरना ही पड़ेगा. So this story, all the stories, there are more than 30 or 40 stories in this book. Okay, these various books, they highlight various animals and the consequences of losing trust. Next section is Mitra Samprapti. See why it is Niti Shastra. Just try to see the types of stories which are interwoven in this uh, text. There you have Mitra Bhed, here you have Mitra Samprapti, acquisition of friends. And this friendship is very, very different. Now, this Tantra centers around forming alliances and the value of friendship. But here again, the friendship is not between the likes. They are totally different or natural enemies, you can say. The center story is the tale of a crow and a mouse, a tortoise and a deer. Okay, these are four friends. And the name of the mouse is Hiranyak, crow's name is Lagupatnak, the pigeon is Chitragriv, Mantrak is Chitrang is the deer, and Mantrak is the tortoise. You must have heard the story of how there was one hunter and he used his net and all the pigeons were caught in that. Then the oldest one advised all of them to use their strength, hmm, unity, and they flew with this net. And later on, one rat freed them. This story was part of this myth Samprapti, this story. From here onwards, there is another story, the story of that rat and the crow who was watching the entire episode, where pigeons are carrying this net. And for what they are carrying the net? Okay, there, when he sees the friendship between pigeons and the rat, he is astonished. Oh my God, I too must have this kind of friend. Such is the friendship that all of them are saved. So he comes where this Hiranyak is living, and he asks him to come out of his place. Hiranyak says, no, 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 I can't come to you. I can't come near to you because you are a crow and rats are natural enemies. There is a very beautiful dialogue. You must read it. And the dialogues which you will find in this story are all dialogues of Niti. Even the crow at a certain point of time thinks that this rat is an expert in Niti Shastra. I must befriend him. इससे तो पक्का दोस्ती मुझे करनी ही करनी है. बड़ा कोशिश करता है. Then he says, okay, Laghupatna, at least we can talk. Okay, don't come near to me. Then day by day this story grew, and then one day they flew where the tortoise was living. Then there was another friendship between the tortoise, the Laghupatna mouse, and Hiranyak. Then again there is story of a deer. This deer was a friend of this crow who was caught in a net. And here again, the crow took the rat to cut the that trap. Now these interwoven stories of friendship, mitra samprapti, are very important. Story within stories. Now these stories, what they say, that collaboration and mutual support can overcome challenges. If you are a student of management studies, this is one of the most, yeah, or you can say the fundamental theory of management, the collaboration and mutual support. In any organization, if collaboration is good, mutual support is good, then they can overcome any challenge. So this second book, it includes the stories that emphasize loyalty, cooperation, and the strength of unity. Third section is Kakulit, Kakolokium, Kakolokium of crows and owls. Okay, yes, that is a famous story of the enmity between crow and owl. It's a very famous story. Now, in this story, what we find that there is an ongoing war between crows and owls, and crows are, you know, actually they are killed day by day. They are worried how they are killed. Owls always attack in the night, and crows can't see in the night. So they do not know who is attacking and from where they are attacking these owls. But owls know that the abode of crow is this big tree. So often they attack. When they uh, are not able to defend themselves, so the king of crows, Meghvaran, he takes advice from all his ministers, but he is not satisfied. Then he goes to an older crow who was once a minister, and finally they decide that we should use something which is against dharma. षड्यंत्र करेंगे हम, कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा, because it's a matter of survival. How will we survive? चाहे षड्यंत्र करना पड़े, चाहे कुछ गलत करना पड़े, करना पड़ेगा. तो जो वो मंत्री है, स्थिर जीवी, the older counselor, ना, he advises Meghvaran, कि Meghvaran, do one thing. You show that we are fighting and beat me so bitterly that there must be bleeding from my body. And this should be done from where these owls come, from that place. Okay? Now in the evening, this false fight begins, and Meghvara beats him, Sirjivi. And after that, all of them flew from that tree. In the night, when owls came to attack these crows, now here Sirjivi cries, "Oh my God, they have beaten me so bitterly. Save me for the God's sake. Somebody please. Oh, I am bleeding." All this. The king of owl, Arimardhan, he comes. He asks him, "What happened?" Then he narrates a false story that I had enmity with him, and he uh, left me in this condition, and they have flown away to some other place. No? But I will take my revenge. If I am better, I gain health, regain health, I can fly again. I will show you the place where lots of crows are living and you can eat them. Okay. Now this Arimardhan became very impressed from Sthirjivi. He allows him to come with him and gives a place near the cave where all the owls used to live. There was another person, another owl there, Raktaksh. He is not able to believe this story of Sthirjivi because there is a kind of natural enmity between crows and owls. He again and again says to Arimardhan, no, don't believe him, don't believe him. I see something wrong with him, but Arimardhan तो भाई किसी की भी बटरिंग आप जरा ज्यादा करोगे और वो राजा था ना Arimardhan was the king of all the owls. Was so impressed. क्या बटरिंग क्या मीठा बोलता है क्या अच्छा आदमी है such a sweet person he is. How can I have any suspicion? No. By the time when he was given good food by these owls, he gained health. But during the daytime, he used to bring lots of small wood pieces and used to keep near the cave. उसी के पास केव के पास ला ला के धीरे धीरे पहले उसने ढेर लगाने शुरू कर. When he got enough strength and he saw that enough wood is collected here, one fine day he flew from this place and went to his friends and told them, if everyone bring one stick with fire, सब लोग अपने चोंच में एक एक स्टिक विद फायर जलती हुई ले आओ और चलो तुरंत. एंड व्हाट दे डू, लकड़ी उसने इकट्ठी कर रखी है. दे कम विद दिस फायर स्टिक एंड दे बर्न द केव. Only Raktaksh and his followers who left this place after the fight with the king, they are saved. All the owls are burnt. So this story shows the necessity of strategy and cunning in warfare. You must be cunning in warfare. So there are various stories illustrating the consequences of enmity and the importance of wise leadership. Next is Labdha Pranasham, loss of gains. This is very easy story, and you must have heard the story of the monkey and crocodile. In our childhood, I remember this song of teasing Uncle Crocodile. So this the crocodile who tricks the monkey and says that my wife wants to have your heart. ओके सुना होगा कहानी आप लोगों ने मुझे लगता है. तो इसकी कहानी में हम नहीं जाते हैं डिटेल में. But this tantra explains how we could lose what we had previously gained and how we can gain what we are going to lose. Both the things are there. So we have to use our wit. Okay? If there is such kind of situation, we must be cool. We must use our wit. सबको कहानी याद है ना? Anybody can tell me कि याद है कि नहीं? क्रोकोडाइल और इसकी बंदर वाली कहानी.
Yes, sir, we do remember the story.
You remember?
Yes, sir.
कैसे बचता है सभी को पता है. तो विट और इंटेलिजेंस जो है इट कैन प्रिजर्व योर गेन्स. बचा लेगा आपको एट द लास्ट मोमेंट. कभी धैर्य नहीं छोड़ना चाहिए. सो दिस all the other stories of this section, they all include tales that caution against greed and trusting the wrong people. So never trust wrong people. Our last section is aparikshit tarakam, rash deeds. ये भी कहानी पक्का सुनी होगी. I think story of Brahmin. Okay, सुनी होगी आपने stories. Now this tantra describes the ill effects of taking rash action without deliberating one of the consequences. आपने सोचा नहीं, समझा नहीं, और आपने तुरंत एक्शन ले लिया. ये कहानी सुनी कि नहीं आप लोगों ने, बताइए. ब्राह्मण वाली कहानी सुनी आपने? एनीवन?
No, sir, नहीं सुने.
ओके, ठीक है, सुना देते हैं. Uh, there was a Brahmin and he had a pet, a mongoose. Okay. And he was a very caring pet, very good pet. Okay. One day, the Brahmin enters into a very short story into his home, and his small child was at the home, and there was nobody else to take care of him, not even the mother. Mother has also gone somewhere. When Brahmin enters into the room, what he finds that there are some traces of blood. Now he's furious. The first thought in his mind is that this mongoose has killed my son. Infant. 5-6 महीने 10 महीने का बच्चा है, बस छोटा सा बच्चा. Okay? And in a rash decision, he kills the mongoose. अब मारने के बाद जब बैठता है, हड़बड़ा के जाता है, what he finds that his child is safe. Okay? Is clueless what must have happened. Then he finds that there are pieces of a snake. Actually, the mongoose जो नेवला था, उसने बच्चे को बचाया था और सांप को उसने. But the Brahmin took a rash decision and killed the mongoose. Okay? So what this story teaches, we should never take rash decision. Okay? Now, so it shows the ill effects of taking rash action without deliberating on the consequences. हमको सोचना चाहिए कि what we are going to do. See, so lots of the stories like this in this section. Now, this is important part, that Panch Tantra is not merely children's tales. It is more than that, much, much more than that. Okay. Now, in our intellectual heritage, this Panchatantra, this text, must be studied as a book of Niti Shastra. Okay. There had been a debate on Panchatantra as a political treatise, and the worldly wisdom as its center. Actually, what happened that some of the Western scholars, I had also given the name, you can read it here, how they questioned Panchatantra's status as Niti Shastra. Okay, what they found in Niti Shastra, there is a kind of castes, races, the upper caste always suppresses the lower caste. Okay, such kind of things they said. The most important book is Taylor's The Fall of the Indigo Jackal. कहानी सुनिए इंडिगो जैकाल वाली. अरे
Not able to
जैकाल
recall
ही
it, sir.
फॉल्स इन इंडिगो. नीला धोबी के घर जाता है, नील में गिर जाता है. ओके, नाउ ही
Yes.
इज ब्लू, and now other animals of the jungle are surprised. Are, which kind of animal is this? They ran away after watching him. Then he felt, oh, there is something is different with me now. And when he sees his own face, when he goes to drink water near a pond, when he sees his reflection, then he finds, oh, ये माजरा है. Now, सुनिए ना story आप सबने सुनी होगी. Later on, he is killed. Now, this story has been analyzed by Taylor in a very postmodern way, or using those theories. that in Indian system, nobody who is from a downtrodden, from a lower caste can rule. No, he can't be made the king or the politician or given big space or big something like that. All rubbish. All rubbish. Yeah, it's a story how his identity was, though his identity was hidden. Taylor ने ये चीज तो नहीं बताई कि when he was given this kingdom, सबने उसको राजा बना दिया. Then what was happening? उसने अपने लोगों को ही पीछे छोड़ दिया. But at one point, जो उसका बेसिक ट्रेट है कि वो उसको कंपेल करता है, जब वो अपनी आवाज लगाता है, हुआ हुआ करता है, पकड़ा जाता है, is killed. So these kind of readings, false readings, contaminated readings by the Western scholars must not be accepted. We should give our own readings. We should read these things with our own tradition, our own intellectual heritage. हमारा खुद का बहुत बड़ा एक फ्रेमवर्क है स्टडीज का, रीडिंग स्किल का, अंडरस्टैंडिंग का. Why should we run behind those people who are just trying to exploit our system, okay, and misinterpret every work? Now, say, और भी लोगों ने, बेनफे और ऑलविल ने भी इसको कन्फाइन कर दिया कि मोरल स्टोरीज है, इमोरल, अमोरल, दिस थ्री बेसिक पैटर्न, दीज आर द स्टोरीज. बट ये जो नैरेटिव्स है इसके, who are told and retold often, they should not be confined with these small in categories actually. वो नीति शास्त्र है और हमें उनको डिबंक करने की जरूरत नहीं. What we should do, we must use our own reading strategy, neither to demonize the text, any text, okay, जैसे वेस्टर्न स्कॉलर करता है, not to demonize it. We have to humanize it. We should use right perspective, and the right perspective can be used only when we should read our things and we should talk about them. If we do not read them seriously, we do not talk about them seriously, then वो तो अपना भाई लिख के आएंगे, आपको बेच देंगे. They are experts in producing such kind of discourses, and with fine packaging they will sell us. और हम क्या करेंगे? According to them, this work is that, this work is that. There we find class struggle, there we find this thing. आप क्या करोगे? Western feminism. You will use Western feminism. Okay? Their theories, उनकी theories बड़ी सीमित है, हमें वो नहीं चाहिए. Why should we? So, may I have some more time, or just I should wind up? Shraddha ji?
So, you can take about 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay,
possible.
okay. Then, okay. Now, as I told you that my aim will be very much clear to you in the end. My strategy is to read the Panchtantra as Niti Shastra. Okay? And this text stands as a Niti Shastra. Just read out what I have written. Not merely because it contains didactic verses or stories offering prudent advice. Rather, its entire narrative structure encapsulates the political order of its era, highlighting its intricate issues. वो जो intricate issues हैं, they often come in our own lives. हो सकता है आप में कोई पॉलिटिक्स में चला जाए. Even at your workplace, you need to face such kind of politics. आजकल बहुत खराब जमाना है भाई, बहुत ज्यादा. Everywhere you will have to find such kind of atmosphere. So the primary aim is not to entertain children with random political science principles, but to vividly bring to life a political world. ये stories हमको ये बताती है कि this world is political actually. They are not just giving us political wisdom. First thing which they are making us aware is that this world is political. Don't enter into this world as someone innocent. Okay? You should have all the practices also. हाँ, नीति must go with धर्म. और कहीं कहीं अगर आपको स्ट्रेटजी और कनिंगनेस भी यूज करनी पड़े टू सेव योर सेल्फ, यू शुड यूज इट. दिस इज व्हाट दिस स्टोरीज टेल अस. ठीक. और जितने भी आप ध्यान दो, अगर पढ़ोगे आप में से कोई, perhaps somebody may take it as a research also. If you read these animal stories, they actually illustrate internal and external political dynamics of monarchy and गण. मोनार्की और गणराज्य की भी पूरी अवधारणा यहाँ पे आपको मिलेगी. You will find different stories and different situations. Okay, so let me conclude here. This text is very old. From it, you can say second 200 BCE it was compiled, but the stories might have gone centuries before it was compiled. Okay, because the Indian tradition was an oral tradition. We can't say when Ved was written. Compilation we can uh, guess that it was compiled 1,000 or 2,000 years ago, but it survived perhaps another 2,000 of years through oral tradition, श्रुत परंपरा से. तो ये कहना मुश्किल है कि ये 200 BC में ही लिखी गई, और पुरानी हो सकती है. And they are not just children's tales, they embodies नीति शास्त्र. Okay? और बहुत ट्रांसलेशन हुए, ये सब मैंने आपको बता ही दिया. थीम्स एंड फ्रेम स्टोरीज आई हैव टोल्ड यू व्हाट दे टीच यू. Trust, collaboration, strategic thinking, thoughtful decision making, these are the things. Okay, and these stories entertain as well as educate, and they provide timeless lessons. So what we should, let me leave now this presentation, and I'm leaving my computer also. So let me conclude it. This text, from its origin, it transcends the realm of mere children's tales to embody a profound tradition of Niti Shastra, or what we can say, the science of skillful conduct and statecraft. Okay. Now, these fables and the stories, they have played significant role in conveying wisdom and moral lessons through some captivating narratives. And this presentation has tried to trace the evolution and cultural impact of Panchtantra. I started with Rigved, okay. Then I also explained something from Mahabharata. Now, the narrative structure of Panchtantra, with all its themes, intricate themes and frame stories, actually serves as a testament to the enduring relevance even in our times. मैं आप सबसे फिर कह रहा हूं, पढ़िएगा. राइडर का ट्रांसलेशन इज ब्यूटीफुल इफ यू वांट टू रीड इट इन इंग्लिश. हिंदी में बहुत जगहों पे कहानियां हैं, ऑनलाइन मिल जाएंगी आपको. So these stories not only entertain, they educate actually. They provide you timeless lessons, and you can continue with these lessons in your life. So this examination of Niti Shastra, what do you find that they reflect timeless knowledge, okay, and political dynamics is also explained so well here, and we can't just explain them within the framework of moral, immoral, or amoral. Okay, it's a monumental work, no doubt. It's a monumental work, and this such kind of narratives must be studied and taught in the academia nowadays. Some researches must be done on them. So here I complete my lecture today. Again, I thank Professor Kumkumre, Satyat sir, and Shraddha ji, and all of you for giving me this time and opportunity to speak on this topic.
Yes, Ankita.
Yes, thank
Am
you
I
so
there?
much, sir. No.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are.
Wait.
Thank you so much.
There is something is wrong with. I
Yes,
touched
Ankita.
something. Okay,
Thank you so much,
if you have
sir.
any question, I can listen to you, though I can't see you. I can listen to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Your insights were truly enlightening. On behalf of everyone here today, I want to extend a sincere gratitude for sharing your knowledge and expertise with us. Your contribution to this workshop has been invaluable and will take us to new heights. Thank you for all your attention. We have one final opportunity to engage with the esteemed speaker. To all the participants, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box or use the raise hand feature. Once recognized, you can unmute yourself to ask a question directly.
Yes, Raj.
First of all, thank you, sir, for this informative session. Sir, I have a query, and the question is, how can the concept of dharma, righteousness, from the Indian tradition be interpreted and applied in the concept of modern businesses ethics and corporate social responsibilities?
Hmm. See, when I was talking about Mahabharata, I used a line. I told you that dharma here means maximum good to the maximum number of people. That is dharma. That is need and dharma both. Okay. In corporate world, if you are just thinking about yourself and using all the skills just to uplift yourself, then it is not dharma. Am I clear? If you are,
Yes, sir.
uh, if you are, see, what is the concept today? Don't be a job seeker, be a job provider. Okay. So if you are
Thank you, sir.
in a corporate world, you must think about your company first, then about people at large, and then about the cultural significance of the thing or the work or the product which you are going to sell in the market. Okay, this is very important. But alas, I must tell you, nowadays these things are missing. Most of the time, adharma is there. अक्षय कुमार खा रहे हैं कौन सा वो आता है भाई कमला पसंद दिखा रहे हैं टीवी पे इज इट धर्म नो इट इज अधर्म ओके यस
Okay,
एनी
sir.
मोर
Thank you so much, sir.
वेलकम
Yes, Kanak, you can
Yes,
ask your
Kanak.
question.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, thank you
गुड
for the informative meeting. Sir, I wanted to ask what are the contemporary, so like what are the challenges and limitations one can face while applying these traditional relations to contemporary texts?
see the limitation is our own understanding okay these texts are not easy to understand in the present context because our mindset is so much it has acquired a different kind of temperament. The first thing is that we must leave this temperament, the influences, the external influences, okay, what we find through social media, through movies. आजकल तो वो क्या आ रहे हैं टीवी पे रोज वाले सीरीज ओके ये सबसे बड़े challenges हैं because our mind is interpolated. We do not know what we are actually. Our identity is created by several influences without letting us know that this is what I am. कहते हो ना कि my identity is mine. I will see what I will have to do with me. Nobody else can interfere. बट एक्चुअली आपको पता ही नहीं होता, हम लोग भी धोखा खा जाते हैं कभी कभी, कि हमारी जो आइडेंटिटी फैक्टर है वो मार्केट स्ट्रेटेजी इज गोइंग टू डिफाइन इट. दिस प्रोडक्ट इज गुड फॉर यू, इफ यू आर नॉट यूजिंग दिस देन बेकार हो तुम. We must be very much aware of these capitalist, or you can say this market strategy. और आपको बताएं, जो हमारे ट्रेडिशनल वैल्यूज हैं, वी विल हैव टू गो बैक टू देम, तब हमें इनका रिलेवेंस इन बातों का समझ में आएगा. उसके अलावा और कोई चारा नहीं. नॉट विद अ डॉगमेटिक माइंड, ये भी मैं बता रहा हूँ, वी शुड नॉट बी डॉगमेटिक अबाउट इट, क्योंकि वहां भी बड़ी अविद्या और अज्ञानता है. डॉगमा इज देयर. हमको बहुत ही यू कैन से सजग रहना होगा. एंड विद ओपन माइंड वी शुड स्टार्ट रीडिंग दीज थिंग्स. अभी टाइम मिला तो आई विल टॉक अबाउट सम टॉपिक्स जो भी आपने पूछा उसके कनेक्शन में, हाउ दे आर सो इम्पोर्टेंट. जैसे अहिल्या का प्रकरण आता है ना रामचरितमानस में, बट द स्टोरी इज समथिंग डिफरेंट. ओरिजिनल स्टोरी इज डिफरेंट. अहिल्या पत्र नहीं बनी थी, and she had no concept of sin. Even she had her relationship with Indra in the original story. कभी टाइम मिला तो उस पर बात करेंगे, तब आपको समझ में आएगा कि what should be done. Okay, what should be done, क्या राइट है क्या रॉन्ग. ये उसको डिफाइन करना इज वेरी टफ. महाभारत इसीलिए इट्स सो इम्पोर्टेंट. रामायण, the original stories are so important. Panchtantra, the original work is so important. नाट्यशास्त्र, the original work is so important. वहां पे हम मूल तक पहुंचते हैं, the basic fundamental things. तो फंडामेंटल चीजों के पास हम पहुंचेंगे तब हमें समझ में आएगा. सो इफ यू रीड जस्ट दीज स्टोरीज, चलो मैं आपको एक देता हूं टास्क, रीड दीज स्टोरीज एंड देन फाइंड कि आपने कब अपने लाइफ में कब कौन सी गलती करी. अगर ये नहीं किया होता, ये सीख लिया होता, तो शायद हम बच गए होते सिचुएशन से. ओके, यस, एनीवन एल्स?
Yes,
Yes.
Ayush.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative session. My query is, what role can ancient Indian wisdom play in fostering a sense of community and shared values in increasingly diverse and interconnected societies?
अरे ये तो बहुत आसान है यार. The entire value system of India is of coexistence. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Read any text. Chalo, just read Kalidas Abhigyan Shakuntalam. Okay. See, what is the connection between nature and human being? It's so close. When Shakuntala is departed from the ashram to meet Dushyant, okay, Karv, Rishi Karv, who is not his actual father, ना, दोनों तो पाला पोसा था ना, वो तो विश्वामित्र की बेटी थी. See that episode. Entire ashram is weeping, including trees, deer, every nook and corner of this ashram. पूरी प्रकृति रो रही है. So यहाँ का तो कॉन्सेप्ट यही है कि एकदम सोसाइटी का सब एक दूसरे के साथ को एग्जिस्टेंस है. ओके, और आपने क्या एक चीज और पूछी थी, जरा सा हमको बताइएगा फिर से. कैन यू रिपीट इट अगेन? देयर आर टू थिंग्स ना.
Sir, it is what role can ancient Indian wisdom play in fostering a sense of community and shared values in increasingly diverse
हाँ,
and
कम्युनिटी एंड
interconnected
वैल्यूज,
societies?
कम्युनिटीज एंड वैल्यूज ना. तो कम्युनिटी एज फार एज कम्युनिटी इज कंसर्न्ड, अगर उसको हम एंशिएंट वैल्यूज को अडॉप्ट कर लें, विच इज इम्पॉसिबल एक्चुअली नाउअडेज, बड़ा मुश्किल है उसको, तो सारा जो झगड़ा यहाँ जाति का है, द कास्ट एंड कास्टिज्म, दैट विल वैनिश. because the ancient value system is karma pradhan. If you are able to teach, then you are, by virtue of your karma, you are a pandit, you are a brahmin. If you can fight so well, you are a kshatriya. तो कम्युनिटी का सिस्टम ही फिर तो बदल जाएगा. अच्छा चलो उसको भी छोड़ देते हैं, मान लो दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. इवन इफ वी follow the basic values, the duty of a king is that he will eat and he will ensure that his praja has eaten. बहुत सख्त है राजा के कर्तव्य. और आपको बताएं फिर से, आई एम कमिंग बैक टू विज्ञान शाकुंतलम. आपको ताज्जुब होगा बिकॉज यू हैवंट स्टडीड इट, बट रीड इट. When दुष्यंत इन द फर्स्ट एक्ट, ओके, आप लोगों ने भी शायद फिल्मों में देखा होगा, दुष्यंत एक हिरण का पीछा कर रहा है और वो एकदम एक आश्रम तक पहुंच गया एंड इज एबल टू लीव हिज एरो. ओके, अचानक देयर इज अ वॉइस, भो राजन, हे राजन, ये हिरण आश्रम का है, दिस डियर बिलोंग्स टू दिस आश्रम, यू कांट किल हिम. काटते हैं एक बहुत कम उम्र के जो तपस्वी बालक है, बहुत तेज डांटते हैं. राजा रुक जाता है, हथियार नीचे रख देता है. इज इट पॉसिबल नाउ डेज? कैन अ सिंपल पर्सन रिब्यूक एनी, फॉरगेट अबाउट प्राइम मिनिस्टर यार, any MP or MLA like this? You can't do this, some things like that. This is a different kind of territory, it has different dharma. राजा रख देता है, प्रणाम करता है, क्षमा मांगता है कि मुझे नहीं पता था. तो अगर उस चीज को हम मान लें, उन वैल्यूज को भी मान लें, that is why he is called राजर्षि. दुष्यंत is राजर्षि, राजा एंड ऋषि, he combines both the faculties. उस चीज को अगर हम मान लें तो बहुत सी चीजें सॉल्व हो जाएंगी. और शूद्र कभी भी अछूत नहीं था भारतवर्ष में, ये अछूत का दौर बाद में चला. So there are lots of things which can be solved. And one more thing, we just talk about Manu Samhita. There are lots of samhitas prior to Manu. बहुत कुछ नॉलेज बिखरा पड़ा है, जानबूझ के लोग लाने नहीं दे. आपको पता है देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ गर्ल्स हियर. याज्ञवल संहिता में लॉन्ग एगो, आई थिंक 4-5 centuries BC, याज्ञवल संहिता में women had property right, all property right. विधवा को राइट था, प्रत्यक्ता को राइट था, चाइल्डलेस मदर को था. लेकिन हमारा जो पुराना, अब तो रूल्स आ गए हैं प्रॉपर्टी राइट में, और ये अभी मेरे होश में आए हैं. 8-10-15-20 साल पहले की बात है. उसके पहले गर्ल्स हैड नो प्रॉपर्टी राइट. ओके, ऐसी बहुत सी चीजें हैं हमारे विजडम, इंडियन जो इंडियन ट्रेडिशन है, लेकिन वो राइट थिंग्स आर नॉट टोल्ड टू अस इन राइट पर्सपेक्टिव बिकॉज ऑफ द पॉलिटिक्स. पॉलिटिक्स इतनी ज्यादा है. आई थिंक आई वाज एबल टू गिव यू आंसर. और कुछ, एनीथिंग एल्स?
No, so that will be all.
Okay.
Well, if there are no any questions, so we will proceed further with the final segment of our session.
Thank you for the questions, and thank you, sir, for answering them so diligently. Before we end the session, I would request everyone to fill the feedback form and complete the assignment within 24 hours. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope to see you all for Monday's session by Professor Dr. Priyanka Tripathi, Associate Professor,
Okay.
Indian Institute of Technology, Patna, speaking on topic traditional of visual storytelling, rereading Indian folk tale. Thank you all. I would request everyone to please open their cameras so we can take a screenshot.
Send me also a snap. Is
Thank
it
you
done?
so much. Yes,
Well,
sir. Thank you, sir.
okay. Thank you so much again, Amity Lucknow, for inviting me for this lecture, this August gathering. And sometimes, if I meet you or I have this chance to speak again, I would like to talk to you about Ahilya. Lots of girls are here. And that story is very important. Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you
May I
so
leave
much,
now?
sir.
Okay. May I leave now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.